Ebusia breaking news as I can say chama Wuntumi say Wuntumi as we try hwe so aya de Wuntumi area. Just after say detaining no na na she EOCO cells no Wuntumi is confirmed by a lawyer say ya hospitalize Wuntumi. Now breaking news no so question so NDC political social media handle no so was Exim banga na ya say chama Wuntumi akwaji o musika twitwiridi na scan Wuntumi amfanya bebe no was Exim bank has also served Wuntumi a Writ of same according to counsel for Wuntumi, Mr. Appiah-Kubi. Meanwhile, Mr. Appiah-Kubi says Wuntumi has been taken to hospital and that the EOCO interrogation will continue tomorrow and should be discharged tomorrow. Then say Exim Bank is also filing another charge against Wuntumi. And also the case has been worsened. But the script now to see TDC and the trending update. Stay tuned.
Service earlier today. Now, that was in the afternoon. He was there to assist with ongoing investigation, and as part of his bail conditions that he was to appear there today. Now, it is not clear why he is being detained at the moment at EOCO. But we know, again, that on Monday he was officially cautioned for allegedly engaged in mining operations without a license, polluting water bodies, and unlawfully entering a forest reserve. Now, that is what we know the police have cautioned him for. We do not know of any official charges yet, but he's been cautioned for these things. And again, if you joined us yesterday, I'd gone through taking the, painstakingly gone through what, how we got to this point. But the most important thing is what is happening now at the frontage of EOCO, where tens of MPP supporters, including some big wigs of the party, have gathered demanding the release of Chairman Wuntumi. We know also that in the last few minutes, his counsel came out to address the press there, and he had indicated that Chairman Wuntumi had been taken to the hospital. It's unclear what has taken him to the hospital. Of course, that's medical information they cannot share with us. But we know that as of now, as we speak, he is not within the confines of EOCO. At least that's what Andy Appiah-Kubi tells us. He's not within the confines of EOCO. He's been transferred to a hospital, expected to be taken back. He's hoping that he will be given to the police so that some bill is processed for him. But at this point, he's still within the custody in the jurisdiction of EOCO, so to speak. So those are the scenes. We know that earlier, when the supporters began to gather there, there was reinforcement, and that's why you see the men in military uniform there. Subsequently, the police had taken charge because obviously this was a civilian situation, and the police were there in their numbers also to take charge of it. But let's go back into earlier this evening when they began to gather in front of EOCO. Justin Frimpong Kodia is the general secretary of the party, and he could not understand why this was happening. Take a look.
What's happening right now? Well, as you are aware, Chairman Wuntumi was invited by the PCI at 3 p.m. So after the engagement, he felt the law thought that he could go on his way going to the house. His car was crossed by about 4 pickups with heavily armed men in branded cars, and initially, we didn't know where they were taking him until one of the guys that was with Chairman Wuntumi made the point that they are taking him to EOCO. So we came to EOCO to ascertain what really the issue or issues are, only for them to tell us that they are still doing their own investigation, and when they are ready, they will communicate to us. So we are just waiting to hear from them as to what their next line of action. So that's why we are here. So they said that we should give them some time and they will get back to us. So we are just hanging around to see what will happen.
Is the time going to be today, or you think, from the look of things, you think it's not going to be
today? Well, we are politicians. When these things happen, your guess is as good as mine. At least almost 5 o'clock. As you can see, they are closed. Some of their staff are going home, and it's still being held there. So, and I don't know if people are going to do the investigation or trying to put things together when it's after 5. If the intention is to keep him throughout the night, well, so be it. They are politicians, they understand. But if that's how they will want to deal with citizens of this country because their government is in power, well, fine. But at the end of the day, Wuntumi is a strong person. He's a very strong guy, and I know whatever decision or whatever frustration they want to put him into, he will survive. We will all survive. But at the end of the day, we live to see another day.
Now, Justin Frimpong-Kodua, as General Secretary of the party, now that you can tell from the look of the skies that it was a little earlier in the day. But we know that in the last few minutes after the address, it would appear that some of them, after the address from Council of Chairman Wuntumi, who had been allowed to see Chairman Wuntumi, came out to tell the gathering that this was a situation that had happened. It would appear that many of those who had amassed there or some of those who had amassed there were starting to leave. But listen, let's stay back in time, earlier in the day when the party supporters, the executives, the stalwarts of the party were starting to gather there. Titus Glover, who is a former Greater Accra Regional Minister, was also there with his folk. And this is what he had to say.
The media in this country all too soon you've gone dump. The NDC led by the president, his style of governance, that he wants to intimidate we the members of the New Patriotic Party. You're all quiet, you are not talking. We are not in the dark days. We are not in a revolution. We are in the rule of law. We are guided by the Constitution. So all the media houses, multimedia, TV3, everybody, you've all gone quiet. And these are, please, allow me to flow. Allow me to flow. I'm speaking with a lot of indignation. My heart is bitter. I'm bleeding. But I want to use your medium to assure the government and the NDC that they cannot kill the spirit of the elephant. The spirit of the elephant is so strong and so united. You touch one, you touch everybody. What is the issue? Yesterday he was at CID headquarters. He was investigated. They granted him bail. He was asked to come back, only to finish with the CID and then they bring him here to continue the same process. Why?
Can you confirm that it's the same process?
What is it about? Wuntumi is a minor. Is it not because of Galamsey? Is it because of mining? That they've arrested him.
That for a fact.
You, the media, haven't you been talking about mining? Today, the mining is worse in NDC John Mohammed's time. Today is worse.
Very worse. Worse
than our time. And you are all quiet. You are not talking.
But
NDC executives have rushed into the forest.
Mr. Glover, you know that
they are all there.
He's been picked up because...
What is it about? You, the media,
unauthorized entry into a forest reserve to undertake mining operations.
As we speak, are people not mining the forest? NDC people, are they not mining the forest? Are we in strange land? Why do you want to behave like strangers? They should remove the logs from their eyes before they get the specs. Are people not mining as we speak? Are the executives not mining in the forest areas? And the president and his party and the leadership are all quiet? What is wrong?
Mr. Glover, if you have such a...
My name is Titus Glover.
Yeah, if you have such an information, why don't you liaise with the security...
I will not liaise with them. They see them. It's all over. The social media. They see what is happening. Go through Wasa area. Go through the Inzima area. All over. What is happening there? It's happening. NDC supporters have got to stop soldiers. In Akufado's time, when soldiers are coming, the Galamsey's, they run. But today they are emboldened because their party is in power. And they are destroying the forest. And you pick on innocent soul. When was the last time Wuntumi mined? When was the last time? It's because you want to show him power. Because you want to show him power. We have no problem. We'll cooperate with the law. But what we want to say is that we are not in a lawless country. We are not in a military regime. We're in the rule of law. Okay? So all that we are saying is that any NPP member who is hearing me talking, they should come out. Yes.
Are you saying
we need the soldiers and police in Boku? That is where we need them, not here. In Boku, that is where we expected them to go and provide security. What is that? So from the police, you come to EOCO. Then from EOCO, you go to special prosecutor. Then you go to charge. Is that the case? You want to flex? I just don't understand.
I saw you enter the small building, that's the office before the main building. What exactly was the
I want to find out what is happening because nobody is telling us anything.
What did you find?
He didn't tell me anything good. He said he's inside, he's being interviewed, blah, blah, blah. And at the right time to communicate to us. So we told him we are waiting. Because what we are saying is that if you are not careful, here we'll start building up. It builds up the tension. That's what we're trying to avoid here. If they want Wuntumi, they should release him to us tomorrow morning. He can come and continue with the interview or the investigation, whatever they want to do.
You think that's going to happen?
I don't know. I don't know because I don't control them.
Okay.
I don't control them. But I'm saying again, the media of this country today, you are all dumb. You are quiet. You are not talking about the lawlessness.
Titus Glover is former Greater Accra Regional Minister. I just want to put on record that these unsubstantiated claims around the media and our activities is why supporters of the party continue to attack media people, particularly those of us here at Media General. And that is why shortly after our reporter reported on the 7 p.m. News 360 here, we had to leave because one of them had identified our reporter on the ground, and we didn't want the situation to degenerate into whatever it could have been. It has to stop. We're doing our jobs, and we'll continue to do so. Now, let's get into the moment where there was a bit of a scuffle, a situation at the frontage of EOCO when the supporters gathered over there. But guess who stepped in? Titus Glover. Take a look.
Hello, please. Can you help us go back a little bit? Hello. Please go back a little bit. You want to kill us? You want to kill us? No. So leave now for the no, it's not nice. It's not nice. Apologize on behalf of why did it come in?
We'll continue to show you more of our pictures from that scene this night. But let's bring in now Dr. Ishmael Norman, who is a security analyst. Doc, good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us. We've seen the pictures, we've heard the voices from there. What readings do you make into this?
I think the whole approach of the political parties in terms of the work of the security agencies is appalling. What MPP is doing right now is very appalling. You don't know the charge, you don't know the suspicion that EOCO has. When you look at the mandate of EOCO, EOCO has the mandate to investigate economic crimes and prosecute those offenses, and also recover monies retrieved or gained from criminal activity. You have no idea the charge that EOCO is operating upon. So when you assemble in front of the office, you are basically you are basically diluting the image of criminal justice system in Ghana. As if they have kidnapped him, they took him from a public space in front of everybody, and they have brought him to his office, to their office. When you gather there, what are you trying to do? Encroach upon the offices and take them out, or what? It's not the correct way to approach any kind of intervention by EOCO, NIV, or Ghana police. It's not the right way to approach things. We know that we have the right to demonstrate. Civil disobedience is part of our constitutional right. But what EOCO has done, you need to understand. You need to talk to the lawyers, and if they are now trying to get to the core of their suspicion, why do you gather in front of the EOCO building? I said what they are doing is against the law. What has EOCO done against Wontumi? That is against his civil rights. EOCO has the right to arrest anybody, including myself, including you, if I have done something wrong. And they don't need to give me a comfortable time for me to report. They can arrest any one of us Ghanaians at any time they consider to be expedient to the work they are doing. Right. Why do you gather in front of the EOCO building? To do what? That's the question I don't understand. Right. Do you know the charge? Do you know the crime that they suspect that Chairman Wuntumi may have committed? I mean, you have no idea. So what is the point of gathering there?
What is clear, Doc, is that they want him released immediately because according to them, the government of the day is using national security to intimidate and persecute them.
That is just an allegation. You can't prove that. Were you there to see which operator, actor in the government of the day that instructed EOCO to arrest Chairman Wuntumi? Even the former minister of the forestry actually accused Chairman Wuntumi of mining in forest reserve. Honorable Janaport did it. And if they have now gathered information, thanks to Erasmus coverage, which was not intended for this, but because of what they were doing in the forest reserve, any security agency will rely upon that kind of reportage and see if they can retrieve some information that they can use against people they suspect to have destroyed the water bodies and the forest reserves of Ghana. If they think that Chairman Wuntumi, who appeared on TV with his solid money gold pieces, that the gold was obtained illegally, they have the right to question him. And if they question him and they don't find anything credible, they will release him. They are not going to kill him. They are not going to beat him. They are not going to do any of such things.
Very well.
That one, I guarantee that EOCO will not do that to anyone.
Indeed, Doc. But it is also not helping, is it, that the kind of narrative the party leadership continues to push about these incidents, and not just Chairman Wontumi's. We have Adenta Komi, a couple others that have also happened around, the same style of arrests or being invited to the police. It is not helping the kind of narrative that the party folk or party leadership are pushing on to their supporters, is it?
It is not correct at all. It is primitive. That's all I can say to that. Because I've never seen it, and I've been to 68 countries in the world, and I've lived in many, many places, including Central Africa, East Africa, and here. And I've never seen this happen, ever. This is so appalling. As somebody running a school that specializes in criminology, this is just horrible. It's not a good thing about our criminal justice system. It doesn't speak well about our criminal justice system. And it's only the political parties. If this country implodes, it will be attributable to the political parties. When the NPP man was saying that if this country implodes, it's the media that will be blamed, I don't agree with him. If this country implodes, it will be blamed on the political parties. They are the main instigators of these big misunderstandings in this country.
Indeed, Doc. Listen, young people will continue to be called upon to show up in places like this in the name of demanding release of somebody, supporting a party leader one way or the other. I want you to use the people at the EOCO as a point, or as you know, as an example, so to speak, and talk to them about the kind of agitation that pushes them to places like the frontage of EOCO.
Every one of us can commit a crime at any time. And when it happens, to err is human. So to err is human. So when a crime happens or security agencies suspect somebody to have committed a crime, it is not right for young people to rush to the point of the arrest or the place of detention and try to encroach upon the holding place. It is wrong. Because every single one of us is capable of committing a crime. And I don't see why we are trying to stop the security agencies to do the work that we pay them huge amounts of money every month for them to do their job. I don't understand it.
I see. Now, on the other hand, will be, the security operatives and how they can prepare themselves so that situations like this do not degenerate into full-blown chaos. What would be your advice?
I was now share you now subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share. God bless you. Stay tuned. Stay connected.